Beeston Stapleford Urban District Council has been anxious for a bridge to be constructed over the level crossing at Beeston Station for many years. The area of Beeston, south of the railway, houses a population of approximately 5,500 residents, and Plessy Telecommunications Limited employs approximately 8,500 people in its factory to the south of Beeston Station. The level crossing has caused very appreciable delays for many years, and at one census taken in the 1950s, it was shown that the gates were in fact closed for 38% of the day. The position was aggravated by the fact that the Queen's Road traffic lights are situated within 300 yards of the crossing, and during periods of peak flow, traffic backed up from the lights over the level crossing, so that police attendance was necessary to enable the signalman to close the gates when a train was due. The council was particularly concerned that police, ambulance and fire service vehicles might be hindered in getting to an emergency in Beeston South if a level crossing was closed, or if these vehicles were delayed in one of the traffic jams which occurred daily. The matter was brought to a head in the late 1966 when the British Railways Board prepared a scheme for the re-signalling of the railway system over an area stretching from Nottingham to Derby and Loughborough to a point approaching Chesterfield. All signalling was to be controlled electrically from a new box at Trent Junction, and this meant the elimination of the manual control at the Beeston and Attenborough station level crossings. The Railways Board's proposal was to install continental-type half-barrier installations controlled from the Trent box at both these crossings. Representatives of the board discussed the matter with the council, and members of the Ministry of Transport Railways Inspectorate held meetings on site to investigate the proposal. The council was firmly of the opinion that both of these schemes were unsatisfactory from a safety point of view for pedestrians and vehicular traffic. The council accordingly objected to the orders made by the Railways Board when these were submitted to the Minister of Transport for approval. The Railways Board indicated that it would be prepared to contribute a sum of £15,000 towards the cost of a bridge at Beeston Station, the sum which they estimated the installation of barriers would cost. Consultations accordingly took place with the county surveyor, and the County Highways Committee agreed to pay 75% of the cost of the bridge after deduction of the Railway Board's contribution. A scheme was accordingly prepared, the bridge design being prepared by the County Surveyor's Department, and the remainder of the scheme by the County. Selective tendering was employed, and the lowest tender, that of Thomas Fletcher Limited, was accepted. The contract was let in the summer of 1968 with a 12-month completion period. In order that the bridge could be in operation and the level crossing closed by the end of August 1969, which was the date stipulated by British Rail. The bridge was designed to withstand Ministry of Transport HA loading and check for occasional loading of 37.5 units of HB loading, which is equal to a 4-axle or 150-ton vehicle. The soil survey showed the cube per mile at 20 to 30 feet deep overlain by beds of sand and gravel. The sand and gravel can safely carry 1 to 1.5 tons per square foot, and it was decided to found the bridge on spread footings in these strata above the water table. The bridge is designed as 7 simply supported spans, transverse, post-tensioned, and carried on 3-leg portal frame piers. The deck is dowelled to each abutment, and all movements are carried to the 2 centre expansion joints located one over each of the solid 6 piers alongside the rail tracks. The movement of the intermediate piers is accommodated by a circular PTFE bearing under each leg. decking beams, transverse stressing wires are introduced through the beams. After stressing, this knits the whole deck together to give one monolithic structure. One difficulty experienced on the job was the refusal of British Rail to allow any possession of the track whatever, and all work on the placing of beams had to be carried out in between the passage of trains. The fact that the work proceeded without a hitch is proof of the efficiency of the organisation of the main contractor and the subcontractors. Show the beams being lifted and placed into position on the north side of the bridge. The span over the railway was positioned overnight during Easter 1969, when the rail traffic level was somewhat lower. Altogether, 84 beams were laid, each 60 feet long and weighing 20 tons. Confined working space, the job of lifting and positioning the beams was very tricky. But the two mobile trains did a wonderful job. The average time to position a beam from alongside was 10 minutes, although the planning had allowed near 30. The beams were cast in Norwich several months before they were required for use. As they were required on the site in midwinter, the supplier shipped approximately half by rail and the rest by road transport to ensure their availability when required. Is dowelled to its supporting pier and sits on a rubber cushion at each end. Aerial view of the work was made possible through the generosity of a member of the Plessy Car Club. Throughout the construction period, the considerable flow of daily traffic was carried along meadow and station roads alongside the bridge workings. Part of the footpath is cantilevered out over the side of the bridge. This gives a more elegant structure and detracts from the depth of the beam end. The design headroom of the bridge is 15 foot 6 above the rail track. On a structure such as this, settlement is bound to occur, and the design allows for 1.5 inches. During May 1969, the Association of Nottinghamshire Engineers and Surveyors and members of the Urban District Council visited the site to get a glimpse of the work that had occurred to date. Present on this occasion were the County Surveyor, Mr. Pennington, and Councillors Mrs. Bradley and Mr. Woodward. To take away any harshness about the approach ramp walls, these were faced with coloured reconstructed stone blocks. A very pleasing finish has been obtained to an otherwise plain concrete face. The only serious limitation to traffic occurred when the carriageway was restricted to 18 feet during the North Abutment excavation. Fully waterproof the concrete deck, a layer of rubber sheeting was laid. After cutting to size, it was fixed in position with a hot tar bitumen compound. To ensure that the stone block facing wall was adequately tied back to the abutment wall, These patented fittings, known as Abbey slots, were used. While the majority of the bridge is served with a light steel fencing, British Rail insisted that the span over the track must have a solid parapet. This is to ensure there is no possibility of a vehicle leaving the road and joining the railway tracks. When the decking had been suitably prepared, the actual road making could be commenced. The road consists basically of a 4-inch layer of hot rolled asphalt, which is laid by a Barber Green machine. This screws the material out under compression onto the deck, where it is mechanically tamped by a bar under the machine. The material is then further compacted by passing a 10 to 12 ton roller over the hot asphalt. Traditional paving slabs were used on both sides of the bridge to form the 8-foot pavements. The only service carried over the bridge is the ducted cable for the lighting standards. Vehicular traffic over the bridge was on July the 25th, 1969, though pedestrians had to wait a little longer. Although the maximum gradient of the 20-foot carriageway is only 1 in 20, it seems to make a few of the cyclists tough. To give access to the station platforms from the bridge, it was necessary to construct 2 lots of concrete steps. These are completely freestanding from the bridge. At the top of the bridge are two expansion gaps to absorb the differential movement which occurs. These are covered by a neoprene rubber extrusion bonded to epoxy resin mortar sills. October the 21st, 1969, was the day the official opening ceremony was carried out, although the brilliant weather of the previous few weeks did not shine on us. Speakers were introduced by Councillor E.R. Hudson, Chairman of the Beeston and Stapleford Urban District Council. Nottinghamshire County Council was represented by its Chairman, Alderman Mrs. Anne Yates, JP. British Rail sent their Deputy Divisional Manager, Mr. R. Saville. The opening ceremony was performed by Councillor H. Peel, Chairman of the Highways and Lighting Committee. Councillor Peel had campaigned for many years to get a bridge built, and with his long association with the Ericsson Company, knew of the frustration which occurred daily at the level crossing. A dream which goes back to before the Second World War becomes a reality.